Thank you for your patience. Yeah. These special messengers have been gifted with extraordinary insight and the very special power to see and receive eternal truth, plus the ability to communicate complex concepts in ways that can and will be understood by the masses. You are such a messenger. I am? Yes. Do you believe this? It is such a difficult thing to accept. I mean, all of us want to be special. All of you are special. And the ego gets in there. At least with me, it does. And tries to make us feel somehow chosen for an amazing assignment. I have to fight that ego all the time, seek to purify and repurify my every thought, word, and deed so as to keep personal aggrandizement out of it. So it's very difficult to hear what you're saying because I am aware that it plays to my ego and I have spent all my life fighting my ego. I know you have, and sometimes not too successfully. I am charmed to have to agree, yet when it has come to God, you have let the ego drop. Many is the night you have begged and pleaded for clarity, beached the heavens for insight, not so that you could enrich yourself or heap honor upon yourself, but out of the deep purity of a simple yearning to know. Yes. And you have promised me over and over again that should you be caused to know, you should spend the rest of your life, every waking moment, sharing eternal truth with others. Not out of a need to gain glory, but out of your heart's deepest desire to end the pain and suffering of others, to bring joy and gladness and help and healing, to reconnect others with a sense of partnership with God you have always experienced. Yes, yes. And so I have chosen you to be my messenger, you and many others. For now, during these times immediately ahead, the world will need many trumpets to sound the clarion call. The world will need many voices to speak the words of truth and healing for which millions long. The world will need many hearts joined together in the work of the soul and prepared to do the work of God. Can you honestly claim that you are not aware of this? No. Can you honestly deny that this is why you came? No. Are you ready then with this book to decide and to declare your own eternal truth and to announce and articulate the glory of mine? Must I include these last few exchanges in the book? You don't have to do anything. Remember, in our relationship, you have no obligation, only opportunity. Is this not the opportunity for which you have waited all your life? Have you not devoted yourself to this mission and the proper preparation for it from the earliest moments of youth? Yes. Then do not what you are obliged to do, but what you have an opportunity to do. As to placing all this in our book, why would you not think you that I want you to be a messenger in secret? No, I suppose not. It takes great courage to announce oneself as a man of God. You understand the world will much more readily accept you as virtually anything else but a man of God an actual messenger. Every one of my messengers have been defiled. Far from gaining glory, they have gained nothing but heartaches. Are you willing? Does your heart ache to tell the truth about me? Are you willing to endure the ridicule of your fellow human beings? Are you prepared to give up glory on earth for the greatest glory of the soul fully realized? You're making this all sound pretty heavy, God. You want I should kid you about it? Well, you could just lighten up a little here. Hey, I am all for enlightenment. Why don't we end this chapter with a joke? Good idea. You got one? No, but you do. Tell the one about the little girl drawing a picture. Oh, yes, that one. Okay. Well, a mommy came into the kitchen one day to find her little girl at the table, crayons everywhere, deeply concentrating on a freehand picture she was creating. My, what are you so busy drawing? The mommy asked. It's a picture of God, mommy. The beautiful girl replied, eyes shining. Oh, honey, that's so sweet, the mommy said, trying to be helpful. But you know, no one really knows what gods look like. Well, chirped the little girl, if you just let me finish. That's a beautiful little joke. Do you know what's most beautiful? The little girl never doubted that she knew exactly how to draw me. Yes. Now I'll tell you a story. And with that, we end this chapter. All right. There once was a man who suddenly found himself spending hours each week writing a book. Day after day, he would race to pad and pen, sometimes in the middle of the night, to capture each inspiration. Finally, someone asked him what he was up to. Oh, he replied, I'm writing down a long conversation I'm having with God. That's very sweet. His friend indulged him. But you know, no one really knows for sure what God would say. Well, the man grinned, if you just let me finish. So God is asking the author to be his messenger. And he's also, clarifying that whosoever has been chosen as a messenger of God in the past, be it Jesus, be it any others, they have always been ridiculed by the society. They have always been made fun of. And in a lot of cases, they have all been, prosecuted or hanged. But what is God trying to tell you here is everybody, everyone born on this planet is a child of God because he has that essential element of God within. अगर हम draw कर रहे हैं, that child was about to draw, everybody comes with a notion because yes, God is a feeling, it's a realization. Nobody has actually seen God in the real sense. And that's why a lot of people still believe that there is no God. So I am not debating whether God exists. You can call it God, you can call it Almighty, you can call it universe, you can call it energy, but there is something at play which is responsible or which is the creator of everything that is around us. And that is nothing but pure consciousness, which is absolutely present within us. So, जो अगर God का essence is already there within us, the whole concept of looking for the God in the outside world is where God has to actually send messengers for us to take a step back and go within. Because outside God, nobody has seen. People can say that they have seen God, they are talking about hallucinations, but broad reality, in a literal sense, nobody has seen God. But yes, everybody has experienced God. or that almighty or that universe or that energy. And how are we able to experience that? Remember, all experience which is happening with us is part of our feelings, which is the language of our soul. So it is through the soul, which is in itself God's essence, is that we are able to feel or experience the God, the Almighty, the universe, or energy, whatever name you want to call it. But the best part, what God is trying to say is, in life, it's like a big learning God is giving in this chapter in the end. In life, please do not do what you're obliged to do, but please do what you have an opportunity to do. लाइफ में बड़ी चीजें आती हैं, वेरी फील नहीं ये तो हमें करना ही पड़ेगा, ये तो ऐसे ही है। अपॉर्चुनिटी ढूंढो, उस ऑब्लिगेशन के पीछे भी एक अपॉर्चुनिटी है। If it is that you are having a feeling that you have to do some kind of a daily household work which is looking as an obligation to you in the forefront, is to actually see the opportunity behind that obligation, जो कि हम लोगों को honestly speaking काफी times नजर नहीं आती, या काफी times हम वो effort नहीं करते. So behind every obligation you have, see, because if it's an obligation, that means you will do it. चाहे आप खुश होके करो, चाहे आप उदास होके करो, obligation है तो करना तो पड़ेगा, ठीक है? That's how the word obligation goes. But अगर उस obligation के पीछे हम वो opportunity देखें, for a second, change those obligatory glasses and see the same situation as an opportunity situation, don't you feel that things will look different? Definitely they will. See, किसी भी obligation के पीछे अगर आपको उस opportunity को ढूंढना है, उसके लिए हमें करना क्या है? It's a very clear agenda that if you want to get hold of that opportunity which is hiding behind that obligation which is coming in the forefront, is to actually have that trust and have that faith कि अगर ये मेरी स्पेस में आया है और मुझे ये करना है, so that means there is definitely some opportunity for me either to learn something, definitely some opportunity for me either to gain something or even to give up something. But definitely there is a bigger picture at play. It is just because I am viewing this particular situation, event, or circumstances from my glasses of obligation that I am not able to actually see and figure out the opportunity that is just behind that feeling of obligation. Next time, when you are in a situation where you feel it's obligatory for you to do certain things, do certain tasks, do some household work or any other work, it could be in office, work, society, anything, and you feel that you do not want to do it, for that matter, we say that there comes a space where you have this realization that, I don't want to do this, but it's very important and it's an obligation to you. At that moment, be consciously aware and ask yourself, what is it that I can sense or perceive as an opportunity in this situation, event, or circumstances of obligation? और ये सवाल अगर आप अपने आप से 2 या 3 बार पूछोगे, chances are very strong that you will realize and get that sense of the opportunity, which is absolutely and actually just behind the obligation which you feel it is. Chapter 9. You may think this is easy, this be who you really are business, but it's the most challenging thing you'll ever do in your life. In fact, you may never get there. Few people do, not in one lifetime, not in many. So why try? Why enter the fray? Who needs it? Why not simply play life as if it were what it apparently is anyway? A simple exercise in meaningless, leading to nowhere in particular, a game you can't lose no matter how you play, a process that leads to the same result ultimately for everyone. You say there is no hell, there is no punishment, there is no way to lose. So why bother trying to win? What is the incentive? Given how difficult it is to get where you say we are trying to go, why not take our good natured time and just relax about all this God stuff and be who you really are? My, we are frustrated, aren't we? Well, I got tired of trying, only to have you come here and tell me how hard it's all going to be and how only 1 in a million makes it anyway. Yes, I see that you do. Let me see if I can help. First, I would like to point out that you already have taken your good natured time about it. Do you think this is your first attempt at this? I have no idea. It doesn't seem as if you've been here before. Sometimes, well, you have many times. How many times? Many times. That's supposed to encourage me. It's supposed to inspire you. How so? First, it takes the worry out of it. It brings in the can't fail element you just talked about. It assures you that the intention is for you not to fail, that you will get as many chances as you want and need. You can come back again and again and again. If you do not get to the next step, if you evolve to the next level, it's because you want to, not because you have to. You don't have to do anything. If you enjoy life at this level, if you feel this is the ultimate for you, you can have this experience over and over and over again. In fact, you have had it over and over again. For exactly that reason, you love the drama, you love the pain, you love the not knowing, the mystery, the suspense. You love it all. That's why you are here. Are you kidding me? Would I kid you about a thing like that? I don't know. I don't know what God kids about. Not about this. This is too close to the truth, too close to the ultimate knowing. I never kid about how it is. Too many people have played with your mind about that. I am not here to get you more mixed up. I am here to help you get things clarified. So clarify, you telling me I am here because I want to be? Of course, yes. I choose to be. Yes. And I have made that choice many times. Many. How many? Here we go again. You want an exact count? Just give me a ballpark estimate. I mean, we're talking about handsful here or dozens? Hundreds. Hundreds? I've lived hundreds of lives, and this is as far as I've gotten. This is quite some distance, actually. Oh, it is. Is it? Absolutely. Why in past lives you've actually killed people? What's wrong with that? You said yourself that sometimes war is necessary to end evil. We are going to have to elaborate on that because I can see that statements being used and misused just as you are doing now to try to make all sorts of points or rationalize all sorts of insanity. By the highest standards I have observed humans devise, killing can never be justified as a means of expressing anger, releasing hostility, righting a wrong, or punishing an offender. The statement that war is sometimes necessary to end evil stands true, for you have made it so. You have determined in the creation of self that respect for all human life is and must be a high prime value. I am pleased with your decision because I did not create life that it may be destroyed. It is respect for all life which sometimes makes war necessary, for it is through war against immediate impending evil. It is through defense against immediate threat to another life that you make a statement of who you are in relationship to that. You have a right under highest moral law. Indeed, you have an obligation under that law to stop aggression on the person of another or yourself. This does not mean that killing as a punishment is appropriate, nor as a retribution, nor as a means of settling petty differences. In your past, you have killed in personal duels over the affection of a woman, for heaven's sake, and calling this protecting your honor. When it was all honor you were losing, it is absurd to use deadly force as an argument solver. Many humans are still using force, killing force, to solve ridiculous arguments even today. Reaching to the height of hypocrisy, some humans even kill in the name of God, and that is the highest blasphemy, for it does not speak of who you are. Well, then there is something wrong with killing? Let's back up. There's nothing wrong with anything. Wrong is a relative term indicating the opposite of that which you call right. Yet, what is right? Can you be truly objective in these matters? Or are right and wrong simply descriptions overlaid on events and circumstances by you out of your decision about them? And what, pray tell, forms the basis of your decisions? Your own experience? No. In most cases, you have chosen to accept someone else's decision, someone who came before you and presumably knows better. Very few of your daily decisions about what is right and wrong are being made by you based on your understanding. This is especially true on important matters. In fact, the more important the matter, the less likely are you to listen to your own experience. And the more ready you seem to be make someone else's ideas your own. This explains why you've given up virtually total control over certain areas of your life and certain questions that arise within the human experience. These areas and questions very often include the subjects most vital to your soul, the nature of God and the nature of true morality, the question of ultimate reality, the issues of life and death surrounding war, medicine, abortion, euthanasia, the whole sum and substance of personal values, structures, judgments. These most of you have abrogated, assigned to others, You don't want to make your own decisions about them. Someone else decide. I'll go along. I'll go along, you shout. Someone else just tell me what's right and wrong. This is why, by the way, human religions are so popular. It almost doesn't matter what the belief system is, as long as it's firm, consistent, clear in its expectation of the follower, and rigid. Given those characteristics, you can find people who believe in almost anything. The strangest behavior and belief has been attributed to God. It's God's ways, they say, God's word. So when we talk about a perspective of evaluating anything as good or bad, it is nothing but, we are evaluating a particular situation, event, or anything that is in our space with a set of memories. And अगर उस memory में वो चीज classify हो रही है as good, okay, this is good. और अगर वो memory में classify हो रही है as bad, it is bad. क्या वो हमने वो actually experience किया है before we come up with this fact that this is good or this is bad? Not necessary. In a lot of cases, it has been passed on to us in terms of our belief systems, our conditioning, our programming, that this is good, this is bad. और हमने उस belief को, which is our belief, एक reality बना ली है. यहाँ यही है. And based on that belief, which we have perceived as reality, we are evaluating the other person, situation, event, and circumstances, and then labeling it as good and bad. अब वो exactly उस चीज में, whatever is that is under, the scrutiny or under the subject of questioning, have we actually experienced it fully? Chances are less. And that is why in a lot of places and in a lot of, these spiritual gurus and these enlightened writers, they very clearly mention all what I am saying or all what I am writing are my personal experiences. And they are not necessarily the reality. So in order for you to know what the reality is, do not take these at the face value, rather work with it and get to that reality, what truly is. I mean, if you talk about, the writings of Osho or any other radical writer, enlightened master or whatever, वो हर एक बार बोलते हैं कि उसको एक्सपीरियंस करो, बिकॉज हम यहाँ आए ही एक्सपीरियंस करने हैं. एंड आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट बेसिक थिंग्स कि हाँ, इफ देयर इज अ फायर यू गो एंड टच योर हैंड टू इट, एक्सपीरियंस करना चाहिए कि हीट होता है. नो, यू कैन गेट इट if even if you get your hand close to the fire, you can feel the heat, and that is very clear and evident. But in order to get to all the other things or all that has been with us and has been given to us by our elders, by our teachers, by our initial influencers during our initial ages, it's very important to actually go to the depth and see whether they hold truth or not. Because अगर हम आज भी बात करें, in a lot of places or in a lot of areas, there have been a lot of things which were there in the past and they actually served well at that time, but during this time, they do not serve us. For example, ऐसे कई चीजें हैं जो हमारे पेरेंट्स, ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स, फॉर फादर्स को सर्व कर रहे थे. For example, and I am not saying that I am right, but that is my personal experience, that it was said in the earlier times that do not cut your nails after the sun is gone. Logically speaking, उस टाइम पे लाइट नहीं होती थी. So that is why it was said not to cut after the dark, because then will not be enough light and chances are that you might hurt yourself, because that time there were no nail cutters. But with the advancement of technology, with such amazing nail cutters available and light abundantly available with high lumen levels and nice LED bulbs, we can cut the nails in the dark. After the sunset, we can cut. But ये same logic आज से 15-20 साल या उससे पहले, when light was not freely available, I mean, I'm talking about developed cities, I'm not talking about villages. Villages में आज भी है status जहाँ light नहीं होती है. So the same fact will hold true there, but not here. So there are a lot of things which have been given us, part of our upbringing, part of our belief system, part of our programming and conditioning, which actually needs some modifications now. Because jo circumstance, jo technological advancement, yeah, whatever was prevailing at that time, it suited that time. But जरूरी नहीं है वो सेम चीज आज भी कंटिन्यू करे. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल, इंडिया में पहले बहुत होता था अ कंपैरिजन बिटवीन अ बॉय एंड अ गर्ल. Okay, we've all been through that when we were growing up, or probably before that. बहुत होता था boy girl. नहीं नहीं, girl नहीं, boy. It was there. I remember my grandfathers talking about it, my grandmother talking about it. It was there. आज की डेट में, do you think as a parent, as a conscious parent, does my love change seeing the gender of my child? That I will only love my son and I will not love my daughter? No. मेरे हिसाब से तो पुट्ठा है. Daughters take more love than fathers because they have that affectionate level. But पुराने जमाने में the concept was कि नहीं, son should be preferred, son should be promoted, son should be educated, बेटी तो घर पे चाहे खाना भी बना दे. That is not the case now, no? Because that does not serve the society in this time. So times change. A lot of things need to, evolve with time. जो पहले सही था 10 साल, 15 साल, 20 साल, और for that matter, जो belief system से हम लोग बड़े हुए हैं, we can't, have the same belief systems for our children. We need to see what is their need. Because times have changed and time will continue to change. Time is the only thing that is never constant. It is continuously changing. एक सेकंड के बाद एक सेकंड के बाद एक सेकंड टाइम चेंज हो रहा है. So with the changing times, all these conditions, all these patterns, all these conditioning, they have to be altered. तो जो पहले था किसी और का एक्सपीरियंस, उसके बेस पे हम आज अपनी सारी चीज को कंपेयर करके उस पे वर्डिक्ट पास कर रहे हैं. इट्स नॉट द रियलिटी. बिकॉज उस टाइम पे क्या सर्कमस्टांसेस थे और जिस बंदे का फ्रॉम वेयर इट इज कमिंग, व्हाट वाज हिज वे ऑफ बीइंग, नॉट नेसेसरी दैट्स द सेम विद यू. नॉट नेसेसरी का डेफिनेटली नॉट द सेम विद यू. एवरीबॉडी इज यूनिक. So जो भी है, it is important to check. If it's something that is not serving you, change. If you feel there is something that needs some alteration, it's okay. You cannot have the same weighing scale all throughout. Times have changed. If you still have a weighing scale that is outdated, you need to upgrade. That's the same for your belief systems. Why do you think Apple comes with a software update every 3 months, 6 months? Because whatever is it in the environment that can affect the quality and the running of the phone, that is why they come up with an update. Please be updated. That is exactly the same where we need to be with how things are going to be, and especially when it comes to a lot of our beliefs which have been passed on to us by our elders or our influencers or our teachers, which are not necessary our own. कहीं पे भी उस चीज को ब्लाइंडली फॉलो करने से पहले चेक करो कि आज वो वैलिड है और उसको एक्सपीरियंस करो. And if it needs some changes, some refinements, go ahead, do it. Who's stopping you? It's your life, it's your belief system. And trust me, you are the only one who has the liberty to change it. बाकियों ने तो जो करना था वो कर दिया. अगर आज किसी के पास जिम्मेवारी है या रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है to change it, it is only you and you. It's only the person you see in the mirror. And there are those who will accept that gladly, because you see, it eliminates the need to think. Now let's think about killing. Can there ever be a justifiable reason for killing anything? Think about it. You'll find you need no outside authority to give you direction, no higher source to supply you with answers. If you think about it, if you look to see what you feel about it, the answers will be obvious to you and you will act accordingly. This is called acting on your own authority. It is when you act on the authority of others that you get yourself into trouble. Should states and nations use killing to achieve their political objectives? Should religions use killing to enforce their theological imperatives? Should societies use killing as a response to those who violate behavioral codes? Is killing an appropriate political remedy, spiritual convincer, or societal problem solver? Now, is killing someone you can do if someone is trying to kill you? Would you use killing force to defend the life of a loved one, someone you didn't even know? Is killing a proper form of defense against those who would kill if they are not in some other way stopped? Is there a difference between killing and murder? The state would have you believe that killing to complete a purely political agenda is perfectly defensible. In fact, the state needs you to take its word on this in order to exist as an entity of power. Religions would have you believed that killing to spread and maintain knowledge of and adherence to their particular truth is perfectly defensible. In fact, religions require you to take their word on this in order to exist as an entity of power. Society would have you believe that killing to punish those who commit certain offenses, these have changed through the years, is perfectly defensible. In fact, societies must have you take its word for it in order to exist as an entity of power. Do you believe these positions are correct? Have you taken another's word for it? What does yourself have to say? There is no right or wrong in these matters. Indeed, by their decisions, your states and nations have already painted such pictures. By their decisions, your religions have created lasting, indelible impressions. By their decisions, your societies have produced their self portraits too. So, whether